I used to work at a small, independent thrift store just outside Sacramento. We'd get all kinds of junk. Old books, cracked toys, piles of clothes that smelled like moldy regret. But sometimes we'd get media. DVDs, VHS tapes, even the occasional floppy disk. I had a habit of checking out the weird ones. I grew up on Rugrats, so when I found a tape labeled Rugrats Tommy's Nightmare, with a faded sticker and crayon-scrawled handwriting, nostalgia pulled me in. It had no Nickelodeon branding, just a worn, gray cassette with dried smudges I told myself were dirt. When I popped it into the store's old TV VCR combo, I expected a fan edit or a bad recording, but what I got was something else. The episode begins. It opened with the standard Rugrats theme, but the music was slowed, almost as if it were being played underwater. The colors were washed out, muted to the point where even Tommy's usual pale blue shirt looked like ash. His eyes seemed off, too detailed, almost glassy. The title card appeared, Tommy's Nightmare. White text, black background, no music. It cut to Tommy lying in his crib, eyes wide open, clutching his blanket. The animation was jittery, not like typical Rugrats, more like an old rotoscope experiment, full of odd flickers and harsh shading. The room around him was dim. The mobile above his crib wasn't spinning, it hung lifelessly, casting long shadows across the walls. "Mommy?" Tommy whispered. No answer. Suddenly, the camera did something I'd never seen in Rugrats. It panned slowly, almost cinematically, across his room. The shadows began to move slightly, like they were breathing. In the corner, a dark, humanoid shape formed, tall, still, and watching. It didn't belong, not even in a show that played with kids' imaginations. Then Tommy's nightlight flickered. That figure stepped forward, revealing glowing red eyes and a distorted face partially hidden by a hood. Its body twitched as if the tape was skipping, but it wasn't. It wanted to move like that. It was Code X. Descent into fear, Tommy backed into his crib, trembling. I want to wake up now," he whimpered. The entity didn't speak, but his presence somehow hummed. The background noise dropped into a low, crackling hum, almost like static, but layered with whispers in reverse. The figure raised its hand and pointed at Tommy. The screen momentarily glitched, showing static for a split second before returning to the room, now empty. Tommy was gone. The scene cut to a hallway, a long, warped hallway lined with stretched versions of the Pickleses and the family portraits. Everyone's faces were either distorted or scratched out. The camera drifted forward. Whispers built in the background, some chanting, some crying. The hallway got darker, until a sudden flash showed Tommy running, panicked, barefoot, dragging his stuffed Reptar along. Then the whispers stopped. Tommy stumbled into a new room, his living room, but twisted. The furniture floated. The windows were pitch black, with glowing red eyes blinking in from outside. On the TV was static, except every few seconds, it would flash a subliminal image of Codex's face, closer each time. Then came the voice. But it wasn't Tommy's or any of the characters. It was deeper, mechanical, and fragmented, like a corrupted AI spitting out synthetic fear. Open quote, "Why do you wake, Tommy, when there is no escape?" Close quote. Tommy cried out, covering his ears. The Reptar toy melted in his hands. His skin started to peel like paper, revealing hollow, black space beneath. He screamed, but the sound was muted, as if someone hit the mute button on reality itself. Then, silence. The ending. The screen cut to black for a full 30 seconds. Then, a single frame of Codex's full face filled the screen, uncomfortably close. His red eyes were pixelated and glowing, his mouth slightly open, revealing rows of human teeth beneath a shattered porcelain-like face. Behind him, floating versions of the Rugrats, limp, glitching, hollow-eyed. Then came the final scene. It was a live-action shot, a dim, handheld camera feed of someone, a child, sleeping in their bed. The quality was grainy. Night vision turned the image a sickly green. Suddenly, the child stirred. In the corner of the room, barely visible, was Code X, standing still, only his red eyes blinking in and out of focus. Then, the camera dropped, and the tape ended. No credits, just a click and a return to static. Aftermath, I ejected the tape, heart pounding. I tried recording it digitally. Nothing worked. The file would corrupt every time. I even tried playing it back again, just static. A week later, I found a sticky note slipped under the store's door. It had 3 words scrawled in red ink, "Do not wake." That night, I didn't sleep. Because sometimes, if I stare too long into the corner of my bedroom, I swear, I see 2 red eyes, blinking, waiting.